Dear children, currently we are discussing the chapter Brief Overview of Python. In that, we have discussed about variables, different operators, and expressions. Now let us see how we can provide input and how we can take the output in a Python program. So for providing input, we have we can use the input function. So this is the input function. So this brackets, two opening and closing braces, it is called a function. So anything, any key, any name with this two opening and closing braces are called function. So input is a function. So the input function is used for taking values entered by input device such as keyboard. So this input function is used to input values derived from anything that is entered through a keyboard is taken by the input function. So the input function prompts user to enter data. In the input, what is given inside this input function acts as a prompt. So prompt, you know, that is 3 arrows. It same function is performed by what is given inside this input function. Inside this bracket acts as a prompt, and the user can enter the data there. So I will show you. So the syntax, it accepts all user input, whether it is alphabet, number, or special character as string. The syntax for input function is variable is equal to input in bracket a prompt, that is a string it is given. Variable is equal to input in bracket a prompt is given. So prompt is the string we may like to display on the screen prior to taking the input, but it is optional. So the input function takes exactly what is typed from the keyboard, converts it into string, and assigns it to the variable on the left hand side of the assignment operator. So what the input function performs is takes the input what is written on the prompt and assigns it to the variable on the left side, that is assigns it to the variable on the left side of the assignment operator. Okay, so for taking the input function is used. Let us see how this input function works. So we have an example. F name is equal to input enter your first name. This enter your first name is written in double quotes or single quotes. So any string that is to be printed as a prompt, to be displayed as a prompt, should be written in double quotes or single quotes. So you can see F name is equal to input in bracket in parenthesis. We have a function, it is input function. In this bracket we have to write what is to be displayed, that is called prompt. So we have to, the user has to enter his name. So we have to write enter your first name. Then only the user will I understand that he has to enter his first name. Then when we press enter key, the question, that is enter your first name, will be displayed as a prompt, and the user will type his name, that is Arnab, in front of that prompt. You can see in the F name equal to input, in that statement the prompt is what? 3 angle symbol, this angle symbol. But when we executed this statement containing input function, then you can see after executing that statement the prompt is enter your first name, where the person has to enter the first name. Another example you can see, age. Age is a variable. So what happens here, in f name equal to input, enter your first name. In that case, what happens? The input function will receive the input. What is the input given? Arnab. Arnab will be assigned to the variable f name. Arnab will be assigned to the variable f name, which is on the left side of the assignment operator. So the function of input is take an input and assign it to a variable on the left side of the assignment operator. So when we execute this, and if I print name, you can see Anu will be printed. Anu is a string. Whatever this input function takes is in the form of a string. Now we can see age equal to, if I write age is equal to input enter your age. Everything should be written in a, give some space, not like in the what I have written in name. Then give a colon, then again give one space, then quotation mark close, single quotes close, then bracket close. So if I execute this, you can see enter your age. It is good in appearance, so it is, user can easily recognize. Enter your age, you have to enter your age. So I have entered 20. So if I print age, we have entered a number 20. So if I print age, you can see age is converted into a string because it is taken as an through the input function. So it is taken through the input function. So this, whatever the input function takes, is converted into a string. So if I want to calculate the age after 10 years, so I have to add age is equal to current age plus 10. If I want to calculate the age after 10 years, so I have to add age equal to age plus 10. When I execute this, there is an error because the input function has accepted this value as a string. So I have to convert this into integer before accepting through the input function. So we can change that statement. Age is equal to int in bracket input, then in bracket enter your age. Then if I write again one, how many brackets you have opened, it should be closed. So we have opened 2 brackets, so we should close 2 brackets. And if I enter the age 10, then if I print age, you can see age is not enclosed in single quotes. So age is a integer value. Understood? So and again, now if I perform age is equal to age plus 10, I have to calculate the age after 10 years. So age is equal to age plus 10. So here our age is 10, then age plus 10 is calculated, and if we want to display age, write age. Now age is 20, 10 plus 10, 20. This operation can be performed only if the our value is in the form of integer. So let us see how we can find the sum of two numbers when the numbers are taken using the input function. So let us see. So we have a number n1. Previously we have did this calculation by just specifying the number there itself. Now we can do it in this script mode. don't do in interpreter mode. Write the program in script mode. So we can write it as, we have num1. Previously we have given the value there itself because it was a specific number. Now we can give a number of our own choice. So num1 is equal to, we can change the numbers. We are giving the values at runtime, that is after running the program we are giving the values, but using the input function. But in the previous program, how we found out the sum is, just we have given a equal to 2, b equal to 3, c equal to a plus b. We are specifying the values inside the program itself. But here, by using with the input function, we can specify the value at runtime. While the program is executing, after the program is executed, we can give the values of our own values. We can change the value. So let us see. Num1 is equal to, we want to add, so we have to convert int, or there is a function called eval. Eval will convert whatever value you have given into its specific data type. Integer value, if you have entered, will be converted to int. If you have entered a decimal value, then it will convert directly to float. So whatever value you have entered, this eval will check and convert it into its particular data type. So it will be convenient to use eval instead of int or float. So if eval, then in bracket input, then again bracket, then in single quotes enter number 1. What all things we specify in this single quotes will be displayed as it is. So if I write, whatever I write in this will be displayed as it is. So what should be displayed is to be written on the enter number 1 or enter the first number. What you write will be displayed as it is. Then I have to enter another number. Number 2 is equal to, just copy this and num2 equal to eval input, enter the number 2. Then sum equal to num1 plus num2. Then in the interpreter mode, we can directly print. If we write sum and press enter, we will get the output. But in script mode, we have to write, for the output we have to write the print function, and in the print function in bracket you have to specify what is to be printed. So we need the value of the sum as we need to print the value sum. So we have written the program num1, num2, then sum, print. Okay, then here you can see a play symbol. After executing this, you will get the output. So we are getting the prompt here in the shell, Python shell. Enter number 1. I have entered 2. Then enter number 2. I have entered 3. Then it prints it as 5. So again, if I go to this, you can see the output was just 2, 3. The output is just 5. Now we can make this output some more beautiful by writing here in single quotes the sum is, then single quotes close, then comma. The sum is, then some space, then the sum is, then what happens is in the print function, the what is enclosed in single quotes will be printed as it is. Then after that put a comma and there is a sum, the variable called sum, which is not enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. So what the interpreter will do is collect the value of that variable and print it there. So you can see if we run this program, the sum is will be printed as it is. Then the calculated value of sum, which is stored in the variable sum, will be placed in the place of sum, that variable. So let us see, the number is 2, another number, enter number 2, 3, and you can see instead of it was written in the previous program only 5. So the output is just made some more beautiful by placing a string, the sum is, and instead of this is printed as it is, the sum is, then the value which is not enclosed, a variable which is not enclosed in single quotes or double quotes is the variable whose value is to be printed. So the interpreter will take its value. So if here, if I wrote instead of sum s, then here also I should write s, otherwise it will produce error. So the sum is s. Instead of s, what the interpreter will take? The interpreter will take the value what is assigned to the variable s. So what s has? S has the sum of num1 and num2. So num1 is, I have entered 4, num2 5, then the sum is 4 plus 5, 9. Understood? So children, we have seen how the input is given to the program. Now you all know how the output is provided. So output is provided through the print function. So Python uses the print function to output data standard through the output device, whatever the output device is, it is a screen. So the output is given through the print function. So whatever it is to be displayed is given through the print function. In script mode we have to write print function, but in interpreter mode for only small programs only we can write only one statement can be executed through interpreter mode. But when we start writing a program, we should always use this script mode, which I showed in the to write a program in previous program, which I have written in script mode. Likewise we have to write all the programs. So in script mode we have to use print function to produce the output. The function print evaluates the expression before displaying it on the screen. The syntax for the print function is print value. So let us see this example. Print, in print statement whatever it is given in single quotes or double quotes will be printed as it is. What is given will be printed as it is. And if anything is not given in single quotes or double quotes will be evaluated and its value is printed. You can see 10 into star 2.5. So this is not given in single quotes or double quotes. So what this will the print function will do is it evaluates, that is finds its value, calculates its value and prints the output. That is 10 into 2.5 is 25. It just prints the value 25. You can see this 25.0 because here 2.5 is a floating point number. So automatically the output also will be in a floating point. So let us see how this print function works. Okay children, this is the example of previous example. In this you can see the input is taken from the through the input function, and you can see the output is displayed through the print function. So I have told that what is given inside the print statement is displayed as it is. No change will be displayed. If I write three dots like this, and if I print this, it will be printed as it is. You can see the sum. I have entered few dots, it is displayed as it is. So what is given inside this print function will be in print function inside the single quotes will be displayed as it is. Now let us see in interpreter. So we can write print. Print is a function, so it should be enclosed. It should have a bracket. In the bracket you have to write in single quotes hello, then single quotes close, bracket close, then hello will be printed. Then if in print function if I write print 2 star 3, what the print function will do, it will evaluate and find out the product 2 into 3. Now if I write print then in bracket in single quotes if I write 2 star 3, then you can see 2 into 3 is not 6. It is printed as it is, because in the print function I have enclosed this 2 into 3 in single quotes. So it is considered as a string, and whatever thing which is enclosed in a single quote will be printed as it is. So it will not be evaluated. If we want to evaluate it, we have to give it as it without in single quotes or double quotes. So next topic is debugging. We all encounter errors while executing a program. So due to errors, a program may not execute or may generate wrong output. Isn't it? Now also we have encountered few errors. So there are three types of errors: syntax error, logical error, runtime error. Syntax error, logical error, and runtime error. So what is syntax error? Syntax errors, like any programming language, Python has rules that determine how a program is to be written, and this is called syntax. So we know when in the print statement, if a bracket is open, then the bracket should be closed. So there are certain rules for writing a statement in a program. So it is called syntax. The interpreter can interpret a statement of a program only if it syntactically correct. Then only the interpreter will execute that program if its syntax is correct. For example, parentheses must be in pairs. That is, if we open a parenthesis, there should be a closing parenthesis. So here 10 plus 12 is syntactically correct, isn't it? Whereas 7 plus 11. Here there is a opening parenthesis but there is no closing parenthesis. It may result in error because there is no closing parenthesis. This is called syntax error. If any syntax error is present, the interpreter shows error messages and stops the execution there. Such errors need to be removed before execution of the program. So whatever error we make because with the syntax, because of the loss of syntax, error in the syntax is called syntax error. If we do not follow the rules of that program, then the syntax error will result. Next type of error is logical error. It is the error of the programmer because of the lack of the programming logic. A logical error does not stop execution, but the program behaves incorrectly and produces undesired or wrong output. This wrong output is generated because of logical error. If in order to add, we are writing a program to add two numbers and we have, instead of plus symbol, we have written there a minus symbol, and the programmer is getting a wrong answer, but the program is correctly executing without any error. So such type of errors are called logical errors. That is with the error due to the loss of logic of the programmer. Since the program interprets successfully even when logical errors are present in it, it is sometimes difficult to identify these errors. For example, if we wish to find the average of two numbers 10 and 12, and we write the code as like this: 10 plus 12 by 2. What the interpreter will do is that it will check the operator precedence and it will write, it will first calculate 10 plus 10 divided by 2 is 6. 6 is then added to 10. The answer is 16. The average will be calculated as 16, but the actual average value is what? 12 plus 10, that is 32 by 2, that is 16, but produces the result 16, but the code is wrong. If we give any other value, then it produces what? Sorry, not 16. 10 plus 12 is what? 22. So 22 by 2 is 11. The answer will be 11, but what is 16? So this is the logical error, how the programmer will get. Due to the lack of logic, and these errors are very difficult to find out. So if we correct this 10 plus 12 by 2 like this way, if we insert a bracket 10 plus 12 by 2, then the output will be obtained correctly. So this is how, what is a logical error. Next is runtime error. A runtime error causes abnormal termination of a program while it is executing. Runtime error is when the statement is correct syntactically, but the interpreter cannot execute it. For example, we have a statement having division operation in the program. By mistake, if the denominator value is 0, then it will give a runtime error like division by 0. So, if in the input statement for division, enter the first number, enter the second number, then num1 divided by num2, but for all the inputs we have given were correct, and once when we execute the program, we have given the first number as 9, then the second number as 0, then the interpreter will produce a runtime error. That is, the program was correct, but the input we have given was a wrong one, because 9 divided by 0 will produce an division by 0 error. So such type of errors during the runtime, the errors which were not in the program but because arise due to the input given, is called runtime error. So we have learned three types of errors. They are syntax error, logical error and runtime error. So what is debugging? The process of identifying and removing logical errors and runtime errors is called debugging. The process of identifying and removing logical errors and runtime errors is called debugging. We need to debug a program so that it can run successfully and generate the desired output. So we have to remove the logical errors and runtime errors is called debugging. And what is the importance of debugging? To generate the desired output. Okay children, thank you. Okay, so another variable is there, age. Age is equal to input in bracket, enter your age. Enter your age should be in double quotes or in single quotes. Then close the bracket or parenthesis. Then you can see the prompt is changed to enter your age, where the user will be displayed with enter your age, where the user can enter the age. And this what happens, this age 19 is assigned to the variable age. Consider another example. Function int to convert string to integer. We have seen this input function will always take values as a string. So 19 will be considered as a string which is enclosed in double quotes or single quotes. So age will have the value 19, and 19 is not a number because whenever the input function accepts a data, it converts it automatically into a string. Even though we have entered an integer 19, the input function will convert it into a string. So in case if we want to perform any mathematical operation like adding two numbers, and we are taking that numbers through input function, then we have to convert that number into integer. For that we have to write like this: age is equal to int, in that again a bracket, inside that input, then enter your age, then close all the brackets. So what happens here is the input function now takes a value 19, then int is a function. So int function will convert that string 19 into an integer value 19. Then this 19 is converted to integer. So what you have to remember is that always when you take any integer value through input, directly you can convert into, you have to convert into int. So you have to write the function int input enter your age. So the age will be directly converted to integer. So if you want to add 2 to the age, then you can add age equal to age plus 2. But you cannot perform this operation if it was a string. If you didn't convert it into int, you cannot perform any operations on that. Children, let us see a few how the input function works. So we can go to interpreter and type one command. So A is equal to, or I can write name is equal to input in bracket enter your name. You can see the prompt next, it appears like enter your name. So I will write Anu. Since I have not given here any space inside that, it is coming like this. So whenever you write this input statement, after enter your name you have to give some space and a colon, then the output will be a somewhat good will have a good in appearance. So you can see name and Anu are written together. So to avoid this, you can give a space or a colon